One time we'll probably all coordinate. That'll be something. We got to get somebody to fix this clock. That it might not be important to nobody, but it's important to me.
No, honey, but it's 10
Yeah, it's going on 1 o'clock, but then I have to rely on my phone.
It looks like it's saying 10 o'clock, but it's going on 1
It's going on 1 o'clock and it's just there. But we just ready for every event. Literally.
You tap the solicitor, please.
Okay. So, I'm not saying you.
I made it easy. The reason when's my turn is a week.
Thank you.
This right here.
Because it's usually on there. It used to be everybody, but instead of repeatedly saying we didn't meet, we don't want to do like, nobody's not working. You all are working. So let's just talk about the one that was done.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm ready to get started now.
Good morning. Welcome to the City of Chester Council meeting, Chester City Council meeting for Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. Everybody looks all bright and cheery and ready to go. We're going to do what we always do. We start with an invocation followed by the pledge to the flag. Giving the invocation today is Bishop Anthony Hanna from the Cathedral of St. Mark's, located in Woodland. Thank you for joining us. Step up to the mics, talk right into the mic, all stand. Thank you.
Good morning. Let us pray.
Oh, Lord.
Our Lord, how excellent is your name in all the earth. We thank you for this, a brand new day that you have allowed us to see. And we thank you for this great city called Chester. We ask now, Lord, in the name of Jesus, that you would have your way in this meeting. Thank you for our mayor. Thank you for the city council. Thank you for those who serve. Thank you for the residents who are present. And we ask, oh God, that you would have your way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilors Gibson.
Present.
Green.
Present.
Davis.
Present.
Mayor Roots.
Present. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the October 9th meeting?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes from the October 9th meeting.
Get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And that motion passes. Thank you. It's time for public comment for agenda items only. The agenda, if you didn't see it, it's sitting outside the door. And there are only three items. See anybody? Nope. No agenda items. Let's keep going.
Bill number 10.
Hold on.
Okay.
I just want to ask before you start, is there any old business or new business council want to share? Bit of new business. There's a big hole in the ground at 4th and Yarnell, so just be careful of that area. Had a big road collapse over there, so just be really careful going around in that area. We have both Chester Water Authority and Delcora and their contractors getting that situated. Madam Clerk, thank you.
My apologies, Your Honor. Bill number 10, first reading was on October 9th, 2024. Ordinance number 9 of 2024, an ordinance of the City of Chester, Delaware County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving collection procedures and adopting penalty, interest, and schedule of attorney fees to be added to the amount collected as part of delinquent real estate taxes, municipal claims for delinquent accounts.
I make a motion that we pass bill number 10 on its first reading.
Second.
Any questions, comments, Madam Clerk?
It is our last and final reading if we want to go back and approve. This is our second.
Okay, yeah, this is I make a motion that we pass bill number 10 on its last and final reading.
I second.
And again, questions, comments? Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes.
Resolution, whereas the following individual has requested a handicap parking zone. Eleanor Thomas, 1123 West 10th Street, Chester, PA, 19013. And whereas after a thorough investigation by the Department of Public Works, it has been determined the aforementioned individual has met all of the required criteria and have a need for said handicap parking zone. Now, therefore, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that it does hereby authorize the proper city officials to install a handicap parking zone in the 1100 block of West 10th Street in the City of Chester.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments? Madam Clerk.
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes.
Resolution, excuse me, Mayor, I'm going to close the door. Resolution, the Council of the City of Chester does resolve that in accordance with the recommendation of the Chester City Planning Commission dated October the 11th, 2024, it hereby denies the preliminary and/or final minor subdivision and land development plan application for the reverse subdivision and land development plan for the proposed Widener Flats 5-story 35-unit apartment building at 921 through 933 East 21st Street, Chester, PA, 19013, as shown on a plan prepared by Aqua Economics Associates Incorporated, located at 1391 Walton Road, Bluebell, PA, 19422, dated June 27, 2024. Based upon non-compliance with the city zoning ordinance and subdivision and land development ordinance as per the city planning review letter dated August 12, 2024, the Colliers Engineering and Design Engineer Review letter dated August 9, 2024, the City Fire Marshal Memorandum dated August 20th, 2024, and a Delaware County Planning Commission Review letter dated September 20th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Madam Clerk.
Councilors Gibson?
Yes.
Green?
Yes.
Davis?
Yes.
Mayor Roots?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
We don't have reports from our committees. The one committee that did meet recently is the Community and Economic Development Committee.
Yes, the Community and Economic Development Committee met on October the 21st, 2024 at 11 a.m. in the City Council chambers to hear a presentation on the consolidated planning process for the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and home funding for the city's 5-year consolidated plan and a presentation on affordable housing developments.
Thank you. I don't see it on the agenda, but I'm going to slide it in here. Do we have any reports from our chief? How about our controller? No, thank you. And we have a presentation. Domestic Abuse Project, otherwise known as DAP, and the City of Chester Police Department, Commissioner Gretzky.
Good morning, Mayor, Council, residents, non-residents. The month of October represents Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and the color is purple if you Google it. One thing I want to speak on from, as the commissioner, but even in law enforcement from all around, Domestic violence is one of the number one calls that we deal with in, day out. Sometimes you respond to a house 2 or 3 times. Sometimes you get there and both parties can turn on the officer when the officer is just trying to mediate the situation. And I asked, because the city of Chester, we're lucky enough to have a satellite office on the 3rd floor of our police station, and by no means the personnel from DAP are not police officers. It's more of a tool that we have in our toolbox, more of an option that we give. And through my career working with DAP, I've seen them do some tremendous things through counselor, going to with the victim, the process of helping them out. And before I want to take all their credit, I asked them to be here. So I'd ask them to come up and say a few words, please, for me.
Thank you very much. Oh, yep. Thank you very much for having us. I'm Michelle Brown, Michelle Edwards Brown. I'm the Executive Director of the Domestic Abuse Project, and this is Jordan Kelso, our Senior Director of Programs, who manages our office, our satellite office in Chester. The Domestic Abuse Project has been around since 1976. We are serving community members from all around Delaware County, whether it's for physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, financial, sexual, anything of that nature. It goes far beyond physical violence. And that's one of the things we want to make sure people understand, especially during this Domestic Violence Awareness Month, that we are here 24/7 with a hotline to support people who need any kind of assistance. You can walk into our office Monday through Friday. You can come to our satellite office 5 days a week. We're there 25 hours as a result of the Community Development Block Grant. So thank you so much for your support in that. At our office, you can receive accompaniment to PFA court or criminal court. We offer police training. We work with all police departments across the county, but Chester City's department is excellent working with us to learn and to employ our lethality assessment protocol. You receive counseling services. You can work with one of our 2 attorneys to receive legal services, and also housing. We have a safe house in Delaware County where we can house up to 35 people at a time. Our safe house is generally occupied 100%. We can also help with relocation. So if you have support in another town, county, city, state, we can offer support to help you relocate to a place where you have a better support system. We also have participation, in the rapid rehousing program. So we can work with clients who are coming through our safe house and try to get them transitional housing, give case management, help find employment, childcare, and support rental assistance for 12 to 18 months so you can become independent. And that's really our goal, making sure that we can help at the time of crisis, find out what you need in that moment, safety plan if that's what you need, and then help find your way to independence and to healing. Not everybody is ready to leave their abuser. It is the most dangerous time to leave an abuser. But that's okay. We'll support you no matter what you're looking for, helping you be safe in the environment that you're in or helping you move to a place where you can be more safe. Domestic violence also does not just impact women, which is widely assumed. In Delaware County last year, we had 6 fatalities due to domestic violence. 5 of those 6 were men. In Pennsylvania, 37% of women experience some sort of physical violence. 30% of men experience the same. So we also want people to know that we are here to support everyone, men, women, children. Anything else, Jordan?
I'd also like to add that due to our satellite office being in Chester, we were able to serve 208 individuals just last fiscal year, which is huge. Having our awareness out there, working with the police department, every time there's a domestic, Chester City hands out our hotline cards. So they know that they're able to reach out to us and call us. They know that we are not affiliated with the police, although we are in the police department for easy access. We are not associated. We work separately, and we definitely work to bridge that gap in between the police and the court system. Oftentimes, we find that it's hard for victims to come into the police department to report, and thankfully, Chester City has welcomed us in to hold their hand while they do report, so we have more accountability for abusers. So again, we'd just like to thank you all for giving us this grant in order to serve you all. We've had this office for, Stephen, you might know better than me, but 20-some years, I think.
I've been here for 23 years. It's been here since I've been here.
Yeah, so about 20-some years. We've definitely expanded that since I've started. But we've been here a very long time, and we only hope to expand more. I mean, although we are serving in the office for 25 hours, that doesn't count all of our court time. So although we're physically in the office 25 hours, we're in district court, we're in media court with Chester clients for PFAs. So we are serving way more than 25 hours. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, don't go away, because I'm sure we have questions.
Yeah, well, shall I answer that? Yeah, any questions?
So this, the services that you all provide, are they all free?
Yes, they're all
Community.
free and completely confidential.
And so if one would go, come to your office and ask for help and then go to the safe house, how safe is that from the abuser being able to find out where they're actually located?
It is a completely confidential location. We don't share that with anyone, and we require anyone that enters the safe house as a client that they sign a confidentiality form at all, as well. Jordan, do you want to speak any more about the confidentiality of the safe house?
So our drop-off location is separate, so no one knows where our safe house is, actually. So if someone were to call and be accepted into our safe house, we will tell them this is where you're going to be dropped off, and then they will call us and we will guide them to our safe house. We don't ever give the address out, but no, so our safe house is very secure.
And how is it for a victim with children to be housed?
What do you mean by that?
So say the victim has 5 children. How are you able to accommodate them?
Yes, so we have larger rooms, we have small rooms, we can accommodate anyone.
And so you said the next step will be that they would go into your rapid rehousing.
Yes,
Now,
hopefully.
is that income-based?
Rapid rehousing is not income-based, no.
Okay. That's all the questions I
Okay.
have. Thank you for providing a resource in our community.
Thank you for having us.
And is the safe house, is that for men and women?
It is.
I just want to get to the basics. Can you share your telephone number, email address, contact info? if
Sure,
someone
and we
wants to
brought
reach out to
hotline
you?
cards as well. So our hotline number is 610-565-4590.
45.
90. And our main email would be info@dapdc.org. Our satellite office is located at the police department, 160 East 7th Street on the 3rd floor. And our main office is 14 West 2nd Street in Media.
You said you service men and women.
Yes.
They're not all at the same facility, are they?
They are.
Oh,
They all have we have separate bathrooms and we have separate situations. But yes, we
so
serve
they
all.
can all come in contact with each other at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. So this is a new development for many shelters around the nation, really, and a requirement to make sure that we're serving all people because a victim is a victim. We do have an ADA space in our safe house, and so that is the space. If we don't have many men coming
You
to this.
said ADA.
Disability,
Okay.
accessible. So it's separate. It's on the first floor. Most of all of our rooms are on the second floor of the residence, except that ADA room is on the first floor. It has its own bathroom, so it is separated from the rest of the spaces. And so far, we have had a few men, but never more than one at a time. We can offer hotel stays if the male client is uncomfortable. But it is the point that a victim is a victim, and we should treat one another with that same sensitivity. Certainly, there can be triggers and fear, but I think our case managers and our staff really try to work with our clients to say, they're here for the same reason you're here, and you don't need to be afraid of that, and you can respect that. We also have male staff members in our safe house as well.
That was going to be my next question. Thank you.
I guess my final question, it gets back to contact information, but it relates directly to hours of operation. You said 25 hours a week on site. So if somebody wanted to come in and see someone, what hours would they show up at the police station?
So our hours are posted on our site and then also on our door, and then cell block, if you were to come, they would let you know. But typically Monday, we're 8:30 to 4. Tuesday, we are 8:30 to noon, and then Wednesday, we are 12 to 4, and then, so we switch. But if anyone wants to make an appointment, they can call our hotline, and we will be there for them. So although we have hours, we will always be there for someone who needs us there. So we'll send somebody.
Is it a 24/7 hotline?
Our hotline is, yes.
And Commissioner Gretzky mentioned that that's one of the most frequent calls they get for, police, domestic. How does that square with the number of people who come in? Are the people that you are serving primarily from police calls, or there are people who will come to you who just know that you're there? And you can answer all this together. You said 208 were served last year. Is that a high number, an average number, a low number over the number of years you're here? And finally, what is your capacity for number of folks you can serve with this service?
Okay.
That was a lot.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. So the first one would be, I think it's a mix between our referrals from police and just people knowing that we're around. Okay. And then the second would be, nope, I don't have it. What was the second part?
I didn't write them down, but answer what you can.
Okay. I do think that, no, I think our time during pre-COVID was higher. I think the courthouse being in the police department had a lot of people coming to us right after their criminal. They would come right up. Since the courthouse moved, our numbers have dwindled. So that's a problem. So we have our flyers posted, but we've seen our numbers dwindle because of that. So we do heavily rely on the police to make sure our hotline cards are given out at the message, which they do. And they've been very helpful, and they've been a great partner for us to make sure that residents know that we're there.
And do you have a cap capacity
No.
that you can serve?
No.
Okay, great. Anything else? Thank you
Mr.
so
Mayor,
much.
I do. I'm sorry, because I want to make sure the number that you gave out, the 610 number, is that the hotline number or your main number?
That's our hotline number. That's our 24/7 hotline. You'll get someone every time.
And over the police station, is there a phone number over there, or you just use the hotline?
I prefer we do have that number, but call the hotline number. This way you always have somebody.
And then let me just make sure I have the correct letters for your email address.
Yes.
It's info@D as in David, A as in Apple, P as in Paul, D as in David, C as in cat.org.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you said you had some literature. Did you leave it out on the table?
We will.
You could. Okay,
Yes.
perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'll just add, the only thing that we didn't say is we do outreach and prevention. Sam Robbins is our coordinator of outreach and prevention services, and so she will speak to anybody who would like to learn anything about domestic violence, but particularly schools, doctors' offices, healthcare, atmospheres, anything like that, and she can give the basics or anything specific to that audience.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's give them a hand. I don't know about you guys, but that is a super valuable service to our community, and it's the first I'm hearing about it. I've heard DAP, but I just couldn't put a face to the acronym, so thank you. Thanks. All right. We are up to public comment. Let's get that sheet up here and hear from you guys.
Can I do this?
Are you going to do that? Okay. Before we do public comment, we do have, so it looks like a few people came in that need to sign the form. You can do that now because we're going to slide in a citation presentation. Council Lady.
Thank you. I don't know if many of you know Mr. Henry Davis and his wife, Miss Eula Davis. They provide housing and care for persons with mental disabilities or mental illness. And Mr. Henry and his wife have served in our community for the last 44 years. And because of their care and concern for the residents, the the people that they serve have been put in a better place to receive personal care. And so myself and the rest of council would like to present this citation, citation to Mr. Henry Davis and Ms. Eula Davis. And it says, whereas Henry and Eula Davis have provided care for people with mental health disabilities for over 44 years in the city of Chester, Pennsylvania, and whereas more than 1 in 5 adults in the United States live with mental illness, but families are not informed or equipped enough to care for their loved ones, and whereas Henry and Eula Davis opened the Davis Personal Care Home to provide adequate care and suitable housing for those with mental illness in the city of Chester. And whereas Mr. and Mrs. Davis have personally cared for countless individuals, doing everything from scheduling to transportation to meals and more. Whereas Henry and Eula Davis have lived out exemplary lives and careers of love and service to some of their most vulnerable neighbors. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Stephon Roots, and the council members of the city of Chester do hereby salute the outstanding community service of Henry and Eula Davis, presented this 23rd day of October 2024. We're only awaiting one more signature from Councilwoman West, but Mr. Henry Davis fell ill, and he is no longer able to come out into the community, but I wanted to give him his flowers while he still lives. And so later on, I'll present this citation to his wife and family members who also couldn't be here. So if you guys see them out in the community, give them a hug or some words of encouragement. Thank you for allowing me to do this morning.
Give them flowers while they're still here.
Yes.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, public comment. I've got 5 of you signed up here. You know the rules. You got 3 minutes. You're going to stand before that microphone. You're going to put your mouth right on that microphone because we're challenged with that microphone, but we're getting better. And we're going to start off with, I'm sure the last name is Brown. I can't make out the first 3. Is it Mr. Brown, Mrs. Brown, Major Brown, someone Brown? Miss Brown?
Good morning, Mayor.
Good
and
morning.
Council.
Good morning.
I just want to bring up about the comments I had last week. But first of all, I want to thank you, Mayor, and Mr. Green for the presentation with the receiver yesterday. That was very nice. But my concern is I ask about the cave-in of the streets taking place. We just had one a couple days ago, a couple blocks from me, and I saw a Delcora truck out in the street where I complained about. The 3 men in the truck didn't get out. They just kind of looked over at one sidewalk. The other 3 spots I spoke about, they never looked at. I wanted to get out there and speak to them, but they pulled off before I had a chance to get out the house. Also, Mr. Roots, I complained about the dirt pile being put on the yard at the 291 in Ward Street. I did call. I was told by Ms. West to call to Stormwater, and that was their responsibility, and complain. Well, I did call them, and so happened I got Mr. Strand himself, and he said he doesn't have anything to do with the dirt being put there. So at this point, it's kind of find out who's going to take the responsibility for that dirt. It's terrible blowing out there now. Okay? Those are all my comments for today. Thank you.
Thank you. I will respond to the Delcora piece. We have a great community relations person that works for Delcora, Michelle Jackson. If there's any issues that you guys want to take up with Delcora that's community related, she would be your point of contact. I don't have her number on me, but if you call the Delcora main number, their auto answering thing has a prompt to find employees, and you just type in the first few letters of their name. But Michelle Jackson is the person to know if you have any issues regarding Delcora. Piles of dirt in periods like this where it's just dry will do nothing but produce dust. So if that's not we have to find out from the property owner who dropped off the dirt. So it's the property owner's responsibility, and I'll follow up on that one. Oh, the list. Joni Asbury? Miss Joni.
Good morning. Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Council.
Good morning.
I do not intend to revisit why I've been coming here for the last 8 weeks. I know that all of you are aware. However, I do feel that this situation is not going to change, unfortunately. With this in mind, I'd like to bring this to the governing body, the task to prevent this from happening in other neighborhoods. It's jarring to me that these facilities, the 8 that surround me, can be allowed to remain in operation with such close proximity with little to no repercussions. Yet a child care facility, personally that I know this because I tried to do it, couldn't be open on Madison Street due to too many in the area. I would like to task the council to investigate how our surrounding municipalities do not allow such facilities in their residential neighborhoods to operate with so many right next door to each other. I have some strong concerns about these facilities in our neighborhood, such as continued overdoses, sex offenders, and advertising for children to come and do homework, which they're right next door to the facility that is housing sex offenders. I'd like to close by saying I've lived in my home for over 30 years. Just when I thought my golden years would be spent gardening and enjoying myself with my investment, I'm left with significantly reduced investment and fear and a lower quality of life. And I hope that the council can rectify some of this. Thank you.
That was very well presented. Thank you. Believe me, we are studying this situation. Well, before the meeting's planned, we're doing our homework as well. The meetings that are planned, well, the meetings that you will see coming up, they haven't been scheduled yet. Well, let's back up. The situation she's talking about are recovery homes or sober living homes. They go by many names. They're not all created equal, but they are seeming to land in mass in certain neighborhoods. And that's something that we are studying, addressing, learning a lot lately. What will happen, though, is that we're going to have public meetings on this one. The first one will be with residents like yourself from all over the city. We want you to come in and explain how these facilities are impacting you and your neighborhood, just as you have done. So we're going to blanket the city because we know you're not the only neighborhood. After that, we're going to bring in the owners of these facilities to explain to us what makes them think they're proper in bringing these facilities into our neighborhood. And finally, we will have our zoning and planning department here to explain what the rules are. They're a lot more lenient than I would have ever imagined. If you have information about other communities that have maybe controlled how many can be in a certain area, please pass that on to us, because that's information that's one piece I don't have.
Well, my cousin was the mayor in one of the communities, we don't allow for them to have so many in
get you. So that's probably an ordinance that they've put in place as a result of that. You know, so look forward to, number one, the public meeting with the public, with the citizens, with the residents. You're famous up in that neighborhood, Miss Joni. I like it. Thank you.
That's unfortunate.
Well, it's good. We need neighbors like you to advocate for neighbors like you. Vincent Byrd, is it Byrd? Okay. Thank you.
I want to say good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
I ride down 9th Street a lot, and I look over at the school, and I see Chester High, and I see all the kids in black. I don't understand why people would let their kids or whoever's running it let them be in all black, standing on the corner like that. You got the cops in black, you got the kids in black. Something happened, you don't know what's going on. Like, you know, like somebody say something or send something to the parents or something that their kids can't be running around like that. People scared. You know, people scared out here. And another thing, I know I only got 3 minutes, but and down at the park, Memorial Park, I ride past and I see these big trucks. What's they doing down there? Building a pond or something? I'm just building a pond. Can somebody tell me why? How much money is spent on that pond? I'm just asking. This is my first time ever speaking.
Yeah.
I just want to ask and know what's going on.
Get it all out.
Yes.
What else?
I want to know how much is being spent. Whoever couldn't do something else. I mean, do something else. It's just nothing. Look over town. When I was young, people was shopping, spending, and having a nice time. So it's just, first of all, it's the kids. You got to take care, straighten out these kids, man. Straighten out the kids, you know, send some notices to the parents, do something. And I'm gonna leave on that note, because, you know, I'm a little shaky up here. But I'll be back next time with some more stuff to say. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too.
I love passion. And I love when someone's bold enough to come up and just speak their mind. And the more you get up there, the more comfortable it's going to be. So don't stop coming. Regarding anything school related, they have school board meetings. There's receiver meetings at the school district. So you should get over there and do the same thing you did here today. I don't know what the uniform, if there are uniforms over at the school district. Does anyone know? Is there?
They have a uniform.
Are they black?
No.
Okay. Well, that's not something we're going to resolve here. But your point's well taken. Anytime you see a group of particularly young people all dressed alike, you can't identify one from the other based on their clothing. But that's the case with any school that's going to, require uniforms, whether it's red, blue, green, gray, tan. You know, every kid going in, every kid going out looks identical. So, but I understand your point. As far as Memorial Park, what's going on over there is, something I call Lake Inferior, but it's meant to be a retention pond to control flooding in that area. So that's what the big trucks are for. That's why they're building the hole. Eventually, the hole will be filled with water. It's about, I guess, anywhere from 15 to 19 feet deep when it's completed. And that's something you can take up with the Stormwater Authority. That's their project. It's a $10 million project.
Don't give me
I think Carol White. Great. Morning.
Morning. There's a lot going on in the city of Chester, so...
Pull that mic down just a little bit, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Don't break it.
For real?
Don't hit me.
Okay. I'm just here for the celebration for Friday at 1 o'clock for the Penn Landing. And I know a lot of things goes on in the city of Chester, different problems, but this is a celebration. And I was just wondering, Mayor and to the city council, are y'all going to be there to celebrate that day? And hope that some of us will be there as well, because it is history.
I will
That's
be
all I
there.
want to say.
I will be there.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarity. About the city of Chester. And we do need to celebrate when we know that we had something in the city that was taken from us at one time, but it came back. And our children need to know about the history too. What's the date again? It's Friday the 25th at 1 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you for that reminder. So what she's speaking of is an annual celebration that occurs here in Chester, the Chester Preservation Committee. I know I'm missing a word there. Chester Historical?
Yeah.
Historical Preservation Committee. Yeah, historical. I forgot that word. They are really the keepers of Chester's history, particularly back to its founding. So Penn Landing Park, it's a real name. It's located on Penn Street, right at Dock, between Dock and the railroad tracks. We're very serious about Chester history because that is something that we can build on tourism in the city. So there's a lot of reasons to come to Chester, but we have to kind of polish it up a little bit. We have plans to improve the Penn's Landing Park and all the historical monuments. So to give you an example of that is Ethel Waters. Just recently, we spruced up that area. Somebody said Deschamps Park. You want to know about Deschamps Park? Somebody want to know about Deschamps? We can talk about Deschamps. Okay. What's going on at Deschamps? Okay. Deschamps is not a park. Deschamps is a property. Deschamps is the property. Shh. I'll answer every question before you ask. I bet I will. That's okay. All right. So Deschamps, everybody knows the guy, Alfred O. Deschamps, lived on that property. He was an art collector. He left his collection to the city of Chester. Chester weren't great stewards of what was left. The county took it over. They've been sort of the steward. Although we own it, they're the steward. They've been taking care of it. And I say that in air quotes. For the last 35-ish years, the art that was left in the museum is housed at Widener University. It's often referred to as a park because many of us of a certain age used to play over there, whether it's baseball down the hill or just running around on the top of the hill. If you're old enough, and I don't think any of us are, there were carousels and horse and buggy rides, way back when. I will just fast forward to what the county is doing. It's the County Industrial Development Authority who's charged with maintaining it. So over the last couple of years, we've got them to regularly cut the grass, hooray for us. But they're putting out a request for, proposal, quotation, whatever, to developers to come and put something on that property. So you should see something pretty soon, at least proposed to go on that spot. The one thing that is certain, anytime they put out these requests for proposals, 60% of that property has to remain as open land, as green space. And don't be fooled that the entire property is just what we see from 9th Street or Edgemont Avenue, what we can see on top where the museum is left, because it does slope on down to the hill to the creek. That's considered part of the property as well. I think without having to chop all that down to develop, if we just put something on the top side that you can see, 60% of it is still the bottom portion. What you should expect to see is something, the term is rateable. It's all about bringing taxes back into the city. So what you won't see would be a school or a government building or anything that's that you can't be taxed for. As far as the museum that's left up there, the big stone building, it's in good shape. It can be renovated pretty easily. There was a study done by their insurance company 2 years ago. They did a little pointing of the bricks so they won't fall on anybody. So that's what's up with Deschamps. But historically, you know, Chester's very famous for the Revolutionary War and having people like George Washington and Marquis Lafayette and Rochambeau all just travel right through that street behind me. And there was a celebration just a couple weeks for Marquis Lafayette's return. That was a really cool event that ended up across those. I keep forgetting where we are. On the backside, there's a cemetery. For those of you who don't know, that old sweet cemetery has burials from probably as far back as the 1600s, definitely the 1700s on up. And the most famous person buried there is John Morton, who was the very last signer of the Declaration of Independence. If it wasn't for his signature, we wouldn't have had a Declaration of Independence. So there's a lot of activity being done to spruce up that space as well. Come on up here. What?
Do we know in advance what they're going to do with that Deschamps museum area, the developer? Do we know in advance before they do it?
Her question was, will you know in advance what will go on the property? We're a long way from finding out what's going on. The ask or the request for developers to make submissions haven't even gone out yet. So we will certainly have them come in and present when they narrow down, if they do select somebody. The last time they put out a request for proposal, that being the county for Deschamps property, no one even picked up the package. So there's not a lot of desire from developers to develop in that area. But we think times have changed. We think that developers will bite this time. And we want to see that, definitely that property be part of the gateway to downtown Chester. So expect that to happen. But Penn's Landing, you'll see the reenactment. You'll see the guy dressed up as William Penn. He gives a great story, and you'll hear the history of Chester. This is where it all started, right here. The history of Pennsylvania started right here in the city of Chester at Penn's Landing. If you can make it, is it 10 o'clock? 1 o'clock on Friday. Okay. Come on down. Joanne Hinterlaw.
Good morning, Mayor Roots.
Good morning.
And board members. My name is Joanne Hinterlaw. I am here to speak on behalf of Greenhouse Project, which is located at 44 East 23rd Street in Chester. This is a nonprofit organization which is run by Mr. John, who lives at 42 East 23rd Street in Chester, not Springfield or Aston. I know this because my daughter was Mr. John's neighbor. Greenhouse Project provides a safe environment after-school tutoring for children. He has basketball camp, which teaches children how to play ball. He also has community cookouts. He has cleanups, which he just had one on Saturday, where he gets 2 dumpsters for the residents to put their trash that they're trying to get rid of instead of littering the streets. He also has free food Tuesdays, and around the holidays, he gives out turkey or ham food boxes for dinners. He collects coats to give out to the ones in need. So you see, Mayor Roots, since he had opened this, he has also got the druggies off the corner, and I know this because I used to go visit my daughter, and I didn't want to go over there because of the shooting, and you pull up the park and they were standing on the corner selling drugs and stuff. It's not like that no more. The houses that the recovery houses are in better shape than some of the other houses on that block. They keep their properties clean. He, like I said, had cleanup day. They go out there, they get a group together, they sweep the streets, they keep the area clean for them. So I just want to speak on behalf of the Greenhouse Project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a perfect example of a preview of what we're going to get when we do have that public meeting, when residents will come forward and tell you the pros and cons of these recovery houses, sober living facilities. One of the things I have learned in the last, while studying this, is that their existence is allowed by powers over and above city government. But in the case of what Ms. Joni was saying, municipalities, I'm sure, have put in some guardrails so that neighborhoods aren't overwhelmed with these facilities. I will also say that not every owner, what's the best way to say it? They're all not equal in the services that they provide and how they just behave in a neighborhood. So I think that's really all that needs to be said on that. We're going to learn a lot more. We're going to hear from, like I said, the residents, people impacted. We're going to hear from the providers. We're going to hear from our zoning and planning folks. The biggest issue that's on the planning and zoning radar is the fact that, these sober living recovery houses, or whatever other name you want to give them, treatment centers, there are different rules, there's different designations. The issue that has come to the attention of zoning and planning is that basically they're coming in, buying a house just like we were going to buy a house on a block, and then the next thing you know, they're converted into these sober living recovery home treatment centers. That's the part that zoning and planning is getting a handle on. Should they be coming into the office right behind us at L&I or zoning and planning, identifying themselves as sober living treatment houses, recovery centers, before they actually purchase the homes? That's not happening. And that's what you... Ms. Joni says her property value has gone down as a result of having these centers. And others are saying property value is going up. So these are all the things that we're going to be learning about over the next few months. That's the last person that signed the list. Is there anyone else here that didn't sign that would like to make a comment? I see a couple hands. Yes. All right, well, come on up. You have to give your name, your address. You've got 3 minutes. And you can get right behind her, Miss Angie.
My name is...
I'm sorry. Anybody else, just stand in line. All right.
My name is Earlene Prince.
Hold on. Slowly. I got to write that down. How do you spell that?
E-A-R-L-E-N-E.
Prince, P-R-I-N-C.
Correct.
Address?
1308 Terrell Street, Chester, Pennsylvania.
Terrell.
Yes, it's some village.
All right. The floor is yours. You got 3 minutes.
Okay, I've been living in some village for like 40 years. And I watched it decay over the years. And right now I'm dealing with a lot of cars, abandoned cars on my street. I'm dealing with the wildlife, possums, raccoons and stuff, because there's an abandoned trailer in back of my neighbor's homes. They also built an illegal addition on the back of their house. I called the city. They just keep passing me on and passing me on. Nobody has been out to investigate to see why they doing this.
How do you know that no one's been out?
Because I called and Mr. Jones told me he was going to meet me at 10 o'clock last Tuesday, and he never showed. Okay.
That's fair.
And I didn't keep a log of all the times I called the city, but I have called about it. The owners of the properties is Mark and Mike, slum landlords. Yes. So I would like to know where you could direct me at and who I could talk to in person, eyeball to eyeball, so I can try to get some resolution before I move. I don't want to leave Chester.
All right, so you got 2 issues there. You've got some abandoned vehicles. There's a guy right behind you in a white shirt that you'll be speaking to after after this meeting.
Mm-hmm. And that trailer, and that, they bought a trailer? Okay.
He covers trailers too.
Oh, good, very good.
And as far as the property issue you were talking about?
Yes, the two stuff, the landlords, Mike and Mark own the two houses next door to me. I asked him, could he please try to improve on the homes? He says to me, if they don't care how they live, why do you? I said, because I live right next to them, and I do care about my neighbors.
You know the addresses of those properties?
It's 13.
No.
Oh.
Just wanted to know if you knew.
I live right next door to them.
Okay, all right. We're going to take those addresses to our L&I department and see what the status is. Many times the complaints do come in, and we are working on it. We don't have a good way of following up with the people who filed the complaint because we're working on the complaint.
Okay.
But we will hope to discover that there is some work being done, that our guys have gone out and looked at that. So we'll find out after the meeting.
I appreciate it.
Stick around. Don't run away.
Oh, no, okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Miss Angie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
You're
Mayor.
representing Boys and Girls Club today?
Yes, I am, always. Good morning, Mayor, City Council. I have a couple of announcements. So on November the 7th, between 11 and 1, we're feeding 400 families. So we're asking to have you guys represent at our event.
What's the date again?
November 7th, I have all the cards here for you. I have letters to invite you guys. So we're having Feed the Families. They're going to receive 25 pounds of food and 15 pounds of personal hygiene. I'm looking for volunteers to help with this big initiative. We're going to feed 400 families, so hopefully we'll have the whole community there. If you're interested in coming, I have all the information here, and we have enough food for everybody.
What time is it again?
11 to 7.
11 to 7.
I mean, 11 to 1, I'm sorry. But I'm sorry. So let me just say this. So we have school during that time, so we know people are going to be coming all day because it's a morning, during the morning. So, yes.
I have a question. You said that when you first stated, you said you would like for us, I guess, mayor and council to come out and represent.
Yes.
Represent in what regards, Ms. Angie?
Just be a part of the community. You volunteer, hand out information.
Yeah, I'd
food
rather
to the-
volunteer.
Yes. We need some muscles. We need 25 pounds of food. We need some muscles.
There's no point in me showing up in a suit and
No.
after all the hard work y'all put in for this
Yes.
event. So I greatly appreciate all the hard work the Boys and Girls Club always does and continues to do. So
Thank
you can
you.
mark me down to volunteer, but there's no point in me showing up to be a council person.
Right.
That's-
But just be a part of the community. Invite everybody in the community. Everybody love to see y'all wonderful faces. So today is the beginning of our Red Ribbon Week.
Or what?
Red Ribbon Week. So that's prevention for drugs. So we have a theme all week, so I would like to go over the theme with you guys. We're doing it at the Boys and Girls Club. We're doing it at Chester Upland School District and all the charter schools. So on today is our first day. So we're going to observe Red Ribbon Week while the children of the Boys and Girls Club, School District, and also the community will share the theme that we celebrate for Red Ribbon Week. So tomorrow, which is Wednesday, our theme is we're going to put a hat on drugs. So we want everybody in the community to wear a hat because we're going to put a stop to drugs by wearing our hat. On Thursday, this is the best one, we're going to tie up drugs. So we're going to ask everyone to wear a tie because we're going to put a tie and a knot on drugs. On Friday, our theme is team up against drugs. So we're asking everybody to wear a sports team shirt or a hat. On Monday, we'll be having pledges. We'll be doing the pledges all around the city. So we'll be at the schools. We'll be at the Boys and Girls Club. We'll be here at City Council, downstairs at City Hall. And we'll make sure that we have the theme, ask everybody to sound the pledge to live a drug-free, healthy lifestyle. And we're doing this for our kids and also ourselves. Now, on Monday is the pledge. On Tuesday, we're going to shut out drugs and peer pressure. So we all going to wear sunglasses because we're going to shade out drugs. So, we work with kids, so we try to be a little dramatic, a lot of intervention stuff for our kids to do because they love wearing hats, shirts, and ties. If you have some extra ties, I see Mike in the back. He donated ties last year. If you have some ties, please donate it. We can take it to the schools. If you'd like to go to the schools with us, please contact me, and I'll let you know what time we'll be at every school next week. Thank you. Yes, I'll make sure I leave a flyer.
Mr. Nelson.
left of him. My name is Edward Nelson, 1119 Potter Street. I'm coming with an ongoing issue. 1116 Potter Street, this property has been a thorn in my side. It's been a thorn in Chester's side for years. I've been promised this property has been on the demo list for years. It's keep being moved up. I understand the process, that it's a money process, it's moving up. Now the young lady is trying to sell the property. It's the third time that this property is being sold. I'm tired of, I didn't stop people from being raped. I didn't stop drug sales. I done stopped a lot of things in this property. I'm not the police. I'm not the mayor. I'm not council. I'm not even a block captain. I'm tired. That's what I am. Somebody need to take this house down. I'm tired. I'm tired of the excuses. You guys incited them numerous times. No fines. What is it going to take for somebody to really, for me to turn my back, to let somebody seriously get hurt, a child to get hurt, a female to get hurt, for somebody to be on the news and we say, my prayers and thoughts go out to someone? People are tired of that. Direct me into the right place and let's do something about this. I've been patient enough. Let's seriously do something about this. So whoever it is, let's get it done. Because someone else is about to buy it. And I told the people the same way I come up here and hoop and holler about L&I and not doing whatever they're supposed to do, I will get up on the stand and tell them you were told that that building is coming down. When that building come down, don't expect no money back because we're not paying as residents to give you your money back because you was told that building's coming down. Because I'm tired of people buying buildings and when the building come down, they want their money back and the taxpayers had to buy it because this is an ongoing process. So I don't know, we had guardrails for that, but that's what's been happening in the past. They sell it and then the building come down and then we give them their money back. I need that to stop too. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We got that. 1116 Potter Street. Got that, Ms. Nikki? Thank you. Are you coming to the mic? All right, we have a director coming to the mic, or what are we calling it? Department of Health? Bureau of Health.
Bureau of Health.
Bureau of Health. Dr. Kristen Motley.
Good morning, Mayor, Council people. I just wanted to come to, and the beautiful residents of the city of Chester and friends, I wanted to come to the mic just to bring acknowledgement that we are in the middle of National Lead Awareness Week. Lead is still a real problem in this country, and it's especially a problem in Chester. And I just want to kind of talk to everybody because I want you all to learn. Lead is a huge issue. When children are exposed to lead, they have increased risk of speech delays, increased risk of being involved in violence, increased risk of incarceration. They have a harder time learning. They have decreased IQ. It is a real thing, and we see these things play out in our community. And so I just want to let you all know, if you don't know, because of the older homes that are still here in Chester, because Chester has been a long time in industrial community, there's a lot of lead that is still in the soil, deep down in the soil, and that lead gets tracked into people's homes, and children that are crawling around on the floor, they may be picking up things, putting things into their mouths. The paint in the homes, around the windowsills and around the door frames, if it's peeling and chipping, because lead has a sweet taste. Children taste it, and then they'll come back to it and put more and more into their mouths. And then lead is in the air because of all of the industries around. And it is also in the water pipes. It's everywhere. And so the most important thing you can do, tell your children to do, tell your grandchildren to do, is get the children tested for lead. Ask the pediatricians, wherever they go for care, get them tested for lead so that if they are exposed, if they do have high lead levels, they can get the early intervention help that they need. Otherwise, they grow up and become children that can't pay attention to school, that can't graduate from school, that can't go on to college, that can't earn a quality living because of the exposure that they had to lead as children. So please encourage your children, your grandchildren to get the children, especially if they're younger than 6, to have them tested for lead so that they can get the help that they need. The health department here will connect them to all of the services to help with the home remediation, to help with the early intervention. We have to do something about lead. I am just getting started on this, and so you're going to hear a lot about this over the next few months. Please come out to the programming, participate, take advantage of whatever we have to offer. We have to do something about lead in our city, in our children, or else it's just not going to improve here. I believe that all of the health outcomes we see with kidney disease and heart disease and the cancers, a lot of those things are connected to lead. We have to do something about exposing our community to lead right now. We're really behind on this. We're going to try to get caught up as much as we can, but it's Lead Week, so now y'all know a little bit something more. Thank you.
I love how she said, you know a little bit of something. Let me tell you, she is on it. She's just joined us a few months ago, but her superpower is that she really cares about the disparities of health in our city and the causes of the disparities of health, of which lead is one of them. Her connection with Delaware County Health Department has already realized some great results. They do studies all the time. She got them to sit down and say, hey, take this lead study that you're doing and don't talk to me about Pennsylvania, don't talk to me about Delaware County, give me Chester-specific numbers. And they did it. So a report was released showing specifically, the thing that caught my eye is who gets tested for lead. So it's a requirement that children under 2 years old get tested. After that, testing isn't required. So what we're seeing is that there are incidences of children 2 and younger having lead in their bloodstreams, but as they age, the numbers are going down significantly only because children aren't being tested. So to the point that she said, if you have decent insurance and you can get your kid tested when they're 3, 4, 5, 10, 12, please do that. Please do that so you can know where your children are. No lead level is safe for any person, but particularly for children who are, exposed at very high levels with very little lead because they're just little teeny people. It makes a huge difference. So thank you for your work with lead. We're fighting with you to get the departments of health, whether it be the county or the state, to pay attention to Chester, to tweak their numbers to Chester, to let us see what's going on here. Thanks for driving that effort. I really appreciate it. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. This is the last comment now. Ms. Brown.
Connection of
You don't have to give us the whole story. We get it.
I just want you to know, what I've been praying, this doctor just said the same thing. My dad has been in the earth, and yet we get in the environment, and yet we get dirt, and God knows where, dumped in our...
Okay, Ms. Brown, thank you. But I'll give you an example. Everybody, well, maybe everybody doesn't. There's a dispensary on, marijuana dispensary on Norris and 291. And I'm talking about the retail store there. When they built that store, they had to remove 8,000 tons. Tons is 2,000 pounds, so do the math. That's a lot of soil they had to remove to remediate lead that was in that soil to get it out of there before they could build. So we know there's lead in the soil, of course, closer to the river. You're probably going to see more than you'll find up there on maybe 25th Street. But lead's a heavy metal. The smokestacks could send gases, steam, miles away, but the heavy stuff falls. So lead is a serious issue. Thanks to Dr. Motley, we're going to be seeing how serious it is in the city of Chester, not only the presence of lead, but the presence of lead within the little bodies that run around here. So thank you, guys. I don't have anything else. Council, you have any comments?
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
do.
Please do.
And I'll try to be brief, but last week I had the opportunity to be the keynote speaker for Delaware County Pregnancy Center, and I wanted to let our residents know what resources they have for people who have unplanned pregnancies. They have a few programs, and one of them was really, really interesting to me. They have a Earn While You Learn parenting education program. Some of our children, and I say children because they may be teens. I was a teen mom, and I needed assistance, and they provide assistance to young parents. It's sad how many young people don't know how to make a meal, don't know how to budget their accounts, don't know who they can go to for other resources. So I'm just going to give the information. Their contact information is 610-872. Wait a minute, they don't have all the numbers on here. 610-872-2229. And their website is www.dcpcchester.org. They have a wide variety of services that they provide, including pregnancy support, educational services, and job assistance, community referrals, housing. I'll try to get more of the brochures, but the saddest thing I seen was a teenage mom who said she didn't have food, and I went into her location where she was living, and she had food, but she didn't know how to prepare it. She didn't know what went with what, and so we have to equip them to know how to budget and how to plan and things like that, and the Delaware County Pregnancy Center does just that. And so if anyone wants any additional information, I'll be happy to give it to you. Thank you.
First, let me just say good morning and thank all of you for coming out, and special thanks to the Boys and Girls Club for coming out and to raise awareness about drugs and abuse and Red Ribbon Week. And it's no shot or no shade when I say this, but we can't talk about or try to raise awareness about drugs and alcohol and abuse and then discriminate against them when they try to get help. And so thank you to Mr. John and his team. And I know the Greenhouse Project, and that project is two different projects, but I do know the work that they do in the community. And I know for years they've done the community cleanups and the give backs. And I couldn't make it there Saturday. I would have liked to, but had other engagements. So thank you, and please give my regard. And again, thank you all for coming out.
Nothing at all. Good morning, everyone.
We don't talk politics up here, we talk government, but I just want everybody to know that there's I forgot the official name, but they're down in our lobby if you need help with any election-related questions, anything related to the election coming up or your status as a voter. You can go right downstairs in the lobby there, right behind one of the windows. There's a crew from the Delaware County Election Bureau that will be there every day of the week and Saturday from 9 to at least 12. I think we're pushing it to 2, maybe. If we give the blessings, they're certainly here from 9 to 12. Okay, so know that. And there's going to be a lot of activity throughout the city over the next few weeks as well. Bringing attention to the election. All I ask, and I ask, no, I beg, just get out and vote. We have to get our numbers up, Chester. That's going to make all the difference in the world. Just get the numbers up. Voting has become super easy. You can do it at home. You can get ballots. Or you can just show up, and that's not hard either. You know, we can just show up and just fill out one little bubble. That counts you as a voter. That's what matters in the city of Chester. We've got to get our numbers up. 10,000 votes out of the city is going to make a heck of a difference. So that's the target I'm looking for this time around. Just come out and vote. Vote.
It completely slipped my mind. I wanted to announce that we will be having, it's a little off schedule, a budget committee meeting next Monday at, I believe it's going to be scheduled for 11 a.m. So I just wanted to communicate that. I know some people from the community came to the last budget committee meeting, so I wanted to communicate it now at City Council that we will have a follow-up one this Monday, well, this following Monday at 11 a.m.
All right, if there's nothing else, can I get a motion from someone on council to adjourn this meeting?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Can I get a second?
Second.
This meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy that so it'll be